From the floral scent of oranges and the tree-lined boulevards, Game of Thrones and other film locations, the colorful tiles of Plaza de España and the Alcazar, the largest Gothic cathedral in the world, tapas that made me rethink my entire food standards, and a human tradition of piety, history, and art unlike anywhere else in the world. These and many more in our Seville travel vlog, the city that everyone dreamed of. Join us as we show you the best way to experience the allure of Seville. We took a high-speed train from Madrid to Seville, reaching our destination in just 2 hours and 37 minutes. The ride was incredibly comfortable, with spacious seating. There was even a food bar on board where we picked up hot meals and cold drinks. And as the train sped through the countryside, the scenic views made time slip away. And arrived at Santa Justa station, grabbed a taxi, but fair warning, if you're here during Holy Week, you may have to walk the last stretch to your hotel because of blocked off streets. Not a complaint, just part of the charm. And it's actually enjoyable every minute of it. We checked in at Hotel Ligado Magdalena, a small boutique hotel that somehow makes you feel both royal and right at home. The room, although small, was beautifully appointed, cozy, with thoughtful touches that made it feel like a personal retreat. The rooftop terrace offers stunning views of the neighborhood and is the perfect spot to unwind with a glass of wine. The front desk staff were incredibly accommodating, always ready with a smile and helpful recommendations that made our stay seamless and extra special. From there, we crossed the scenic Guadalquivir River through the Puente de Isabel II or Triana Bridge into Triana neighborhood and district of Seville. This river flows through the city, continuing southwest across Andalusia before emptying into the Atlantic Ocean. We took a quick peek at Capella del Carmen at the base of the bridge, and then we went inside the Mercado de Triana, a historic market built over castle ruins. Some stalls were closed, it was Holy Week after all, but we still caught the scent of fresh jamon, fried fish, and the hustle of daily life. Las Golondrinas is where we had our lunch, which is something special. Chipirrones or baby squid lightly grilled, tender with a touch of sea salt that practically whispered Mediterranean. Ponta de Solomeo, a savory pork loin juicy with a smoky edge. Bacalao confit is a melt-in-your-mouth cod, but not in a lazy way, soaked in olive oil and secrets. Carrillada Iberico, a slow-cooked pork cheeks, rich and fall-apart perfect. For dessert, we stopped at Dolceria Manuhara, where the pastries were almost too pretty to eat. With our sugar high secured, we wandered the Guadalquivir riverfront, tree-lined paths, locals laughing over late lunches, and the golden Torre del Oro gleaming across the water. This river promenade is a lovely spot to unwind, especially in the evening, when a gentle breeze finally rolls in to take the edge off the summer heat. Just a heads up, Seville in summer isn't for the faint of heart. It's beautiful, but let's just say the sun takes its job very seriously. That's why we came here in April. Crossing back over another bridge, we made our way to Puerta de Jerez, indulging in our pastries while people watching their Hotel Alfonso XIII. Yes, that Alfonso XIII from the Netflix TV series, The Crown. It doubled as a Californian villa. The architecture in Seville pulls you forward like a moving painting. Horse-drawn carriages, the romantic and family-friendly atmosphere, university courtyards, and then suddenly, boom, Plaza de España. It's grand, theatrical, almost unreal. This place is so photogenic it practically poses for you. It's a dream for Instagrammers, with its grand architecture, colorful tiles, and that romantic canal that makes you feel like you're in Spanish Venice. We took our time admiring the tiled murals representing each province of Spain. And yep, if you're a Star Wars fan, this is one of the filming locations of Attack of the Clones. Seville always finds a way to be iconic. After a rest at Parque de Maria Luisa, we wandered beneath this tree-lined Avenida Menendez Pelayo. A peaceful stroll led us to Paseo Catalina de Ribera, with the Moreo Gardens on one side and the Alcazar walls rising on the other. We entered Barrio Santa Cruz through a square with orange trees and into a maze of alleyways where shadows, flowers, and echoes of history live. Dinner was at El Pasaje, a place with so much character, even the table stands seemed to tell a story. Clay pots, old world charm, and flavors that surprised even on our second visit in Seville. A daiquiri with a bold Sevillan twist, and a local Overo Crianza wine, delicious Sevilla patatas bravas, tender grilled chicharrones again because we couldn't resist, and a seafood paella that may not be from Valencia, but who cares when it's this good. After dinner, ice cream just a few steps away, because when in Spain, dessert is a lifestyle, not an option. Another day was started with a bucket list item.
We'll have the combined tour to Real Alcazar of Seville and Cathedral of Seville through Get Your Guide.
Tickets were sold out on the official site, but we lucked out with a Get Your Guide tour with less than 10 people, and a guide who knew every hidden corner. And we skipped the line. We entered through the Puerta de Leon into a palace where Moorish, Christian, and Gothic architecture blend like a symphony in stone. We paused at the Admiral's Hall where Columbus stood and Magellan charted the world. Inside the palace, the courtyard of the Maidens, with its reflecting pool, lace-like arches, made me stop mid-sentence. The Ambassador's Hall, glowing under a dome of gold and guarded by a circle of sculpted kings. Tapestries, beautiful paths, fountains and ponds, gardens everywhere, and of course, Game of Thrones scenes brought to life in every corner. Next, the Seville Cathedral. No matter how many churches you've seen, this one will humble you. It's the largest Gothic cathedral on earth and absolutely breathtaking. Highlights the high altar, towering and golden, like heaven gilded in wood. The choir perfectly aligned with the nave, rich in craftsmanship. The tomb of Christopher Columbus, held aloft by four figures representing the historical kingdoms of Spain, Castile, Leon, Aragon, and Navarra. And finally, the Giralda Tower. You walk up ramps, not stairs, originally built so guards could ride horses up. From the top, a 360-degree view of Seville, rooftops, bathed in light, and Fuente Farola. But here's where Seville took us somewhere deeper.
From Palm Sunday to Easter Sunday, the city transforms into a human tradition of piety, history, and arts that is unlike anywhere else in the world. And we'll take you through it all. Vamos!
It's Thursday evening in Seville and the streets look like there's a fiesta or a big party. In Catholic Seville, it's Holy Thursday, within the Semana Santa or Holy Week. Dressed in black veils and mantillas, the women walk gracefully through the city. The men often in suits, and the whole family are on their way to line the streets near the churches to watch the processions.
Waiting for the procession to pass by at 6:30. It's only 5:15, so we'll be waiting for an hour and a half.
Here comes the penitents, also known as Nazarenos, dressed in long purple robes. They also wear tall pointed hoods called capirotes, covering their faces but with eye holes, and this may appear unsettling at first glance, especially to those unfamiliar with the tradition. But these garments aren't meant to intimidate. Their origins date back centuries to medieval Spain and are rooted in religious penitence. The pointed hoods and robes serve a symbolic purpose to strip away individual identity, allowing the wearer to focus solely on repentance and spiritual reflection. In this context, anonymity is an act of humility, not hostility. Some are even walking barefoot, silently praying the rosary. These are some of the costaleros taking a break and waiting for their turn to carry massive floats or passes from inside the structure, completely blind to the outside. They follow the knocks and calls of the capatas, the director, guiding them step by step. You feel every sway, every silence. Semana Santa in Seville is more than a tradition. It's a shared act of faith, a performance, an art, a prayer and sacrifice. It's 10 p.m. on Thursday night just outside our hotel, and the same cofradia we saw at 7 p.m. is passing once more, this time on their journey home. Hours ago, they walked with steady grace toward the great Cathedral of Seville. Now, with wax-dripped candles and weary feet, they return to their church, whose belfry rises like a quiet sentinel visible from a rooftop terrace. More than 60 brotherhoods, each rooted in their own parish, take part in these sacred processions. Each one a moving tapestry of faith, tradition, and centuries-old devotion. Some travel just 4 hours along their route, while others march for as long as 14. Imagine that, 14 hours of silence, music, incense, and soul. Step by solemn step, an offering of time, of endurance, a belief. A pilgrimage not across miles, but into the very heart of devotion.
It's 3 o'clock a.m. and I'm watching the La Madroga procession.
La Madroga begins in the hush of midnight, winding through the streets under the pale light of Good Friday morning. Though the procession does not pass directly before our hotel, it turns just at the corner, close enough to feel its presence. By the time I arrived, the crowd had already thickened, shoulder to shoulder, a sea of anticipation.
It is crazy here. It's 3 o'clock a.m. and I can only see the hoods of the penitents. I'm hoping I can still see the paso of the Nazareno.
I pressed forward gently, step by step, hoping for a glimpse of the paso, the solemn float bearing the statue of Jesus carrying the heavy cross. There is chatter, murmurs, the rustle of movement until he appears. Then, as if on cue, silence descends. Thousands fall quiet, breath held in reverence before a statue that carries more than wood and paint. It carries faith, sorrow, and hope. In that silence, I felt the weight of centuries, a moment not just seen, but deeply felt, a procession not only watched, but lived. This is the heart of Holy Week, the most sacred, the most stirring of all the processions. After the paso of Jesus passed through the street below, I made my way to the terrace of our hotel
So I'm here at the rooftop of our hotel.
to await the next procession, La Señora de Sevilla, a revered depiction of the Virgin Mary in sorrow. From above, the full scale of the crowd became evident, thousands of people lining the streets, many of whom had stayed up through the night or arrived in the early hours to claim a place. The atmosphere was hushed but charged, a mix of devotion, fatigue, and anticipation. When the Paso of Mary appeared, illuminated by the soft glow of real candles, it became clear why so many had waited. Her face, sculpted in sorrow, carried an emotional gravity that resonated even from a distance. But behind the mourning expression, there was something else, an unmistakable sense of hope that moved quietly through the procession like a current. The Good Friday procession is somber and focused on the crucifixion that typically happens later in the day, while the Easter Sunday procession represents the joy of his resurrection, signifying victory over death and the promise of eternal life. The processions in Seville are not only a profound expression of faith, but also a vital part of the city's cultural identity and artistic heritage, bringing the community together in a powerful celebration of shared tradition and devotion. There's also the celebration of the Lord's Passion on Good Friday inside the Seville Cathedral and the Sunday Easter Mass. Both are open to all. Just arrive at least an hour early for the line outside the church. No tickets, but reverence.
The Easter Mass just finished and it was so beautiful. It was long though, but it was really beautiful. And when the choir sang, I feel like I was attending an opera in heaven.
On Easter Sunday, Seville streets come alive with vibrant energy, and the atmosphere is nothing short of electric. However, if you're not visiting specifically for Holy Week, you may want to reconsider your timing. Many attractions have altered openings, and street closures can make getting around more difficult and time-consuming. That said, if you do plan your trip around Holy Week, it can be one of the most unforgettable experiences of your life. Just be sure to plan well in advance. Hotel prices tend to rise significantly, especially for rooms overlooking the procession routes, and availability fills up months ahead. Try to stay along or near the procession routes, and don't hesitate to ask your hotel's front desk for details. While some balconies are reserved and quite pricey, the view from the street is equally moving and memorable. Now there's so much more to Seville we couldn't fit in, like a tour inside the Plaza de Toros de la Maestranza, one of the most important and oldest bull rings in Spain. Built in the 18th century, it's not just a bull ring, it's a cultural landmark. And no, we didn't make it to a flamenco show this time, but if you're lucky, you might just stumble on a passionate performance in Plaza de España. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's by donation, but always unforgettable. Another spot that's impossible to miss literally is Las Setas de Sevilla, or the Mushrooms. This massive wooden structure rises above Plaza de la Encarnacion like a futuristic canopy, and it's actually the largest wooden structure in the world. You can take an elevator to the top and walk along a winding walkway that offers incredible panoramic views of Seville, whether it's during the day or lit up at night. After sunset, the lights shift through colors: purple, green, red, and more, giving the whole structure a surreal glow. Beneath it, there's a local market, Roman ruins, and a small museum. After days of savoring tapas in Seville, we stuck to our favorite travel tradition. Our final dinner in Europe is always Chinese food. This time, we tried Ming Chinese restaurant near the Setas, and it blew us away. Every dish was bursting with rich, authentic flavor, truly truly next level, a delicious and comforting meal to end our unforgettable stay in Seville. Seville has a way of drawing you in through its food, architecture, traditions, and soul. This was our second time here, but every corner still felt new. If you're planning a trip, I hope this gave you inspiration. Tap like, leave a comment, and click here for our Madrid vlog or our other Spanish destinations. Thank you for watching and have an amazing day. This is Lino Online.